Thanks everyone for joining today. I'm here with Matthew Lee, one of the founding partners of Volition, and myself. My name is Ming. I'm also one of the partners here at Volition. So if you've been following us, we talk a lot about finding not just good, but the best tenant profiles. Like we're a little tenant profile obsessed, and so we often get asked, like, why do you care so much about tenant profiles? Like, what's the big deal? And why are you paying a premium to be in a better neighborhood? Can't you just take, a crappy tenant profile and offload it onto a property manager? Can't you just outsource that problem? So Matt, what is kind of your opinion on that?
Well, we've spoken quite a bit about why care so much about tenant profiles, and normally our response is around the landlord-tenant laws and the tenants being the biggest risk to your business. So we've covered off that quite a bit in the past. What I'm going to focus on in today's segment is more about, can't you just offload crappy tenants to property manager? So like if they're a headache, just let the property manager deal
Outsource
with
the
it.
headache, right?
Yeah, exactly. But what those people fail to recognize is that your property manager is just an employee of yours at the end of the day. As a real estate investor is the wrong word. You're running a business. You're the CEO of your own small business, your real estate business, and if it's your employee's headache, it becomes your headache, right?
Absolutely.
So don't think that just because you hire someone, you let someone else deal with it, those problems are going to escalate well beyond what their capabilities are or where they draw the line. So, for example, non-payment of rent, yeah, they might issue an N4 on your behalf or an L1 on your behalf, but that's their duties stop there. In fact, property managers only do three things. Number one, they do marketing and tenant placement services. So imagine they market the unit, they advertise, they find tenants, they do the showings, they'll screen, and then they'll place the tenant, right? They move in, move out, photos, that kind of stuff. Number two, tenant relations. They'll help you collect rent, and deal with any tenant complaints or tenant issues or issues between tenants you'll try to resolve and stuff like that. Tenant relations, it's number two. Number three is maintenance and repair. And they're not going to do that themselves. They're going to outsource that. They're going to help you find people to help you maintain the property. So a lot of like coordinating trades, a lot of getting quotes and stuff like that. But really, a property manager does those three things. The 997 other things that it takes to successfully run a real estate business or run your real estate investment property falls under the realm of asset manager. So, Ming, what is an asset manager? What do they do?
I mean, an asset manager does everything else, right? Like if it's not just marketing, tenant relations, and maintenance repair, it's your job. Um, Everything from what's your mortgage and financing strategy on that property? Should you be renovating it? How are you managing the books on that property when you've got an expense that comes up? As you mentioned, it's whatever is your staff's problem becomes your problem. So if you have a troubled tenant who's creating a lot of noise or a lot of garbage, the property manager just kind of lets you know about it, does what they can to try to solve it. But if they can't solve it within their realm of expertise, it becomes your problem. Um, Unfortunately, I know of somebody whose tenant actually set the property on fire, and like that is not something a property manager is going to deal with, right? A property manager can't deal with it at that point. Like if you're talking about arson and like actual criminal proceedings now, that is now all on you to manage. So it's especially important. If your aspirations are to develop an expertise in becoming a tenant manager and managing a certain tenant profile, more power to you. That is, we didn't get into real estate investing to become tenant managers, frankly. it was one of the reasons we left, I'd say, cities and areas with tougher tenant profiles and focused on the downtown core, where we have, you know, young, professional, responsible people who are renting our properties, because that's not the dream, that's not the goal. So anyway, that is roughly what an asset manager does, everything in that domain.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there are asset management firms out there, right? You may not be quite aware of them, but they're definitely out there, and they are the kind of the higher order, more strategic people that you'll deal with when you're, you know, if you're ever investing in a corporate institutional investor. So like it's the asset managers who just who determine the financing, the strategy, how to run this thing. Imagine insurance, you know, a flooded basement, let's just say sewer backup. Your property manager just goes, "Hey, you got a sewer backup problem." Right? And it's just like, so anyway, it's just funny. This is just top of mind because literally I had a bunch of advisory sessions with clients yesterday. Literally two people asked me the same question yesterday. Hey, like, why do you like, is it worth me spending extra to get into those A or A plus neighborhoods that you're talking about? Hey, I could find something up in like wherever, like Eglinton, Caledonia, whatever. Why pay more to be sort of like Little Italy or Little Portugal or Trinity Bellwoods or Leslieville? You know, my money goes further in those areas. And the way I describe it is, you know, again, if you've been following us, you know, the Volition business model is very much focused on kind of downtown core of Toronto. Because why? Because of tenant profile. That's the main reason. That's the biggest way you can mitigate risk in your real estate business. And as Ming was alluding to, we've invested in Hamilton, the KWCs, the Sudburys, the Edmontons, and we're out of theirs. We've brought our portfolio back to Toronto. Now, the question, then these people who are asking me, hey, if I invested in these cheaper areas within Toronto, the problem is, if this is, let's say, small town investing with a lower socioeconomic profile tenant, and this is where we are with Volition, investing in those other areas of Toronto is really kind of a half step back towards small town investing. And that's how we kind of assess this, the viability of investments in those suboptimal areas of Toronto. So again, you can't just say I invest in Toronto. Toronto's too big. There's lots of different pockets, different areas, different tenant profiles. We've specialized in one that we have determined and deemed to be the most risk mitigated way to invest in Toronto. So yeah. Anyway, anything else you want to add, Ming?
No, that was great. That was very helpful. If you found what we talked about interesting, you want to learn more about real estate investing, go to volitionprop.com, www.volitionprop.com, and sign up to our mailing list. There you'll find out about exclusive events, hot properties, and get plugged into the Toronto real estate investing community. We've got an upcoming meetup. Actually, we have one every month. So
www.meetup.com/volition. And there, I think we have 3,300 plus investors. We run the largest real estate investment community in Toronto. So come out, engage the community, learn, and hopefully we'll see you there.
Great. Thanks very much.
Okay. Thanks. Bye.